Florida State has the biggest recruiting weekend in the country on tap. So we're bringing in FSU recruiting expert Michael Langston for this video because the Noles, they have 22 visitors on campus, plus the 6 midweek. So nearly 30 visitors in the next 5 days. It is a busy time in Tallahassee. Don't worry, we're going to break it all down for you. But first, Nole fans, let's go. Hit subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel. We need you to be a part of it. We're trying to grow this thing. We need as many FSU fans on board as possible. All right, let's bring on Michael Langston from War Chant. Mike, they're doing this on purpose. They're bringing in nearly 30 guys in the span of 5 days. What's the strategy here?
Yeah, the strategy is get them late. They understand that decisions are going to be made late. Be the last thing that these kids are thinking about before they go in decision mode, and really shoot your shot at all these top guys. We'll talk about that some shortly, but it's a massive list of guys. I certainly have 4 midweek guys that are in there. 5, you can count another official visit and offensive lineman for the 2024 class. But I think overall, it's going to be a extremely chaotic and busy weekend and a fun one.
Yeah, controlled chaos, because the importance of this weekend is the fact that it's the last official visit weekend of the summer before the big dead period hits. And we've seen guys left and right, recruits that didn't even plan on making summer decisions, announcing, hey, I'm going to make my decision in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 10 days. There's going to be a lot of decisions coming down after this weekend. So that's why this weekend is so important. Speak of importance, let's talk offensive line, because we know FSU fans, they are intrigued by these offensive linemen that are on campus. And Mike, I don't know if I've ever seen this in Tallahassee, but there's going to be 3 5-star offensive linemen on campus this weekend. You got Solomon Thomas, who's committed to FSU, but then you got Ty Haywood, who's from Texas, and Josh Petty, 2 5-star offensive tackles all coming in together. When it comes to the uncommitted guys like a Ty Haywood or Josh Petty, who do you think Florida State has a better shot at landing?
I would certainly say Josh Petty. There's a lot of things trending their way. I feel really good about most of the picks that we've seen, both from Steve Wilfong and Chad Simmons. I feel really good about where FSU is coming in with that visit. So he's certainly a guy that's been trending a lot. Ty Haywood's another one I almost put him in the dark horse situation where they really made a big impression in the spring. But Petty's kind of the one I've circled that if everything goes well, I think they're probably going to get some good news when he does make that decision. And as you pointed out, Solomon Thomas here, I was only concerned with him if we heard some radars go off when he took visits to LSU and in Florida. Yeah. We didn't hear that. So I feel pretty good that he's likely going to stick, and probably I would say there's a decent and good chance that he shuts down things.
Man, so you're telling me right now you think there's a good shot that Florida State signs 2 5-star offensive linemen in this cycle?
It's very possible, and it's actually not possible. It's probably more likely than possible. So I think they've done a great job both selling the product, and then you have guys like Lamont Rogers, Ty Haywood. These are all top guys, but I think also the thinking too of this is like if FSU doesn't get them, they want to have a previous relationship. So when these guys hit the portal, they'll already have on there in case they don't pick FSU. And then they go to college and it doesn't work out. I think that's part of the draw too of I think a reason why a lot of these things. Shoot your shot, go for it, show the pitch of what the program is, and then later if it doesn't work and you go to the portal, this is kind of the philosophy of how the portal works for FSU, where they have previous reestablishing relationships, and I think that's part of the reason too that you host these guys and give it a shot.
Yeah, see what happens. Yeah, I didn't even mention Lamont Rogers. He's not a 5-star, but he is a borderline 4-star, 5-star type guy out of the state of Texas. Just a huge weekend. Mike, we can't cover it all, so I got to tell the people, go to warchant.com. Yeah. You guys do an incredible job. I mean, we don't have time to sit here and talk about 28 official visitors. I mean, maybe we could, right, but it'd be a 2-hour show. I want to talk right now, though, about wide receiver Vernell Brown III. This is really intriguing because coming out of that Ohio State visit, he went to Miami midweek. Then he goes to Florida. Now it's Florida State. So basically, all 4 of the teams that he's going to come down and make a decision for are getting a visit in the month of June. Why is this one so important?
Well, it's vital. They wanted the last visit because they know he's a Florida legacy. His dad played there, so Florida got the visit right before them, and then they knew Ohio State was a threat, and they knew Miami was hanging around it being a factor. So I think FSU wanted that final visit. You got to remember too, there's going to be Tramel Jones there. There's going to be
Mhm.
probably guys that are already pretty sold on FSU. I think having Tramel Jones there is going to be a big deal because him and Tramel are buddies. They play on the same 7-on-7 team. You might be able to build a strong connection there, but I do think there's work to do with them. I
Yeah.
think Florida is certainly a team that I hear the most buzz about, but I think FSU consistently is a team that the buzz is not wavered as far as the FSU side of their chances. So I think they still feel if they really nail it and hit a home run, that they're very much in the picture. But I think that's part of the draw and the reason they did this official visit last for Furnell's. They knew that Tramel Jones would be there, and
Yeah.
and that's a big factor to help with this recruitment because comfort on official visits is everything. That's what kids are looking for. They're looking for some kind of feeling and situation because all these schools have great facilities. A lot of them have great products on the field. Certainly Ohio State and in other programs, and they got a lot to sell. But when you're around that comfort and you feel that kind of something unique about that school, I think having another person there you're really comfortable with is a big deal.
Yeah, and Vernell Brown, when he was here in Nashville, he said, I'm going to make a July decision. Not exactly sure what date that's going to be, but look for him to make his decision 2 or 3 weeks after this Florida State visit. So we'll keep an
Right.
eye on him. The last prospect I want to talk about is it comes at a major position of need for Florida State, and that's defensive line. And we're going to talk Myron Charles because he's been trending toward Florida State on the recruiting prediction machine for about 6 weeks now. But
hmm
he's taken visits to Texas, to Florida. So in your opinion, do you think he's still an FSU lean heading into this visit, or is it an even race?
I still think I like where they're at. I don't think it's probably quite as big a
Mm-hmm.
lead as it was, but I still think it's pretty comfortable enough where I think coming in this weekend, FSU's been the most consistent team in that recruitment. Odo Hagen has done a phenomenal job with that recruitment, as has Coach Adam Fuller, defensive coordinator, and certainly Mike Norvell. They've all done a great job. They've been the most consistent team in this whole process with Myron. I think it's cool that you mentioned Myron because there's several guys that you have on commit watch that are visiting. Byron Lewis, running back, who I think FSU still sits in a good spot for. Gregory Thomas, American Heritage 4-star DB. You certainly have him and Tavion Wallace. I think there's a great chance of capitalizing on the opportunity. Just 4 or 5 guys I can think about that I feel like FSU's trending for that. If the visits go well and they nail it, it could be a really fun weekend, an explosive weekend for FSU.
All right, going to be an epic weekend in Tallahassee. FSU fans, how we feeling? Let me know. Comment section below. Who do you think out of this massive visit list? Who do you think FSU lands? Let us know. Comment section below. Well, you've made it to the end of today's video, but there's hundreds more videos on the On3 Recruits channel for you to check out. And also, while you're here, hit subscribe.